Folk, the word folk is related to the German word Volk, and it means people. So when the word was first emerged in literature and in research context, and when people started to use it, it was in distinction to the upper class, the people who were disenfranchised, the people who were dispossessed sometimes, who lived maybe in small little villages around the big house. They were the folk, as opposed to the grandeur, the lords and ladies of the castle and the manor. And people really, education for a long time and culture wasn't about what ordinary people had, what the folk had. It was really about what the aristocrats, the upper class, the elites, the nobles had. And that sort of changed in the 18th century with, I suppose, with the growth in democracy, so that everybody in the world had a voice and had a position. And then people like, you've heard of, I'm sure, the Grimm fairy tales, the Brüder Grimm, the Grimm brothers, went and they actually looked at the folk, the stories of the people, and that got an enormous interest in that the truth just didn't lie in the stories of the elite or what people had in the manor, but truths were somehow as well in the experience and the stories of ordinary people. So the word folk came there and was used, and then that came to be folklore. So you had the lore, the learning of the ordinary people, their stories, their ways of life, their language, their traditions, their customs, their dances, their songs. And then that sort of, in the early years of the Irish state, that was supported very much. In the 1930s and 1940s, they had these folklore collections. So folk then is not just, it's about the people, the ordinary people. In the context of the present, what does it mean to me? It means ordinary people. Now, whom are ordinary people? Everybody is an ordinary person, it's everybody's experience. And there is a kind of an inclination just to see folk as located in maybe in its past rurality, in the rural, in the countryside. Whereas to me, I think folk now is about everybody's experience. It would be, for example, the experience of new people who come here, the neo-Irish. What are their way of life? What do they think? Folk is also about the urban. It's not just located in the past in the country, but it's about having everyone's truths. So everyone, maybe we all in life experience the same things, like we're born, we grow up, we marry, we have children. So there are sort of critical universal experiences. Yet every country and nation and maybe every region has a different way of celebrating, reacting, or living those experiences. So there are rituals, for example, around birth in Poland or around marriage in Russia that are a little different here. So we have still, even though it's a universal experience, it's everyone, as I said, folk means everyone. It's not just people who live in the country, it's everyone. If we lose our way of traditionally celebrating the critical moments, what I mean by that would be, again, birth, growing up, like education, school, birthdays, coming of age, first kiss, marrying, again, having children, health, decay in health, illness, old age, death. That in Ireland there's particular attitudes and there's particular way of celebrating and living those experiences. And that's what's particularly important, I think, in Irish culture. We don't use that. There is also, I suppose, a danger in today's society that as the world becomes very globalized, there's a kind of a standardization of experience. After all, we kind of almost listen sometimes to the same radio programs. It doesn't matter what channels. There's chat shows, there's morning TV. There's the same cosmetic products, the same way of dressing. So there's a sameness about our experience in the world today. Folk is different. It locates us in maybe the traditional. So we're not just English-speaking Westerners in the periphery of Europe. We have an experience that we also inherit from our past, and that is somehow hidden within us. So to me, folk is about that as well.